In today's video, we are going to discuss one of the oldest and most popular Dragon Ball topics out there. A topic that has literally been discussed since the 90s, 0s, 10s, and even 20s. And that is whether or not King Cool could actually transform. Now we're going to start this video off by stopping some misinformation. Somebody on a recent video, and I won't put this person on blast by putting his name out there, spread some misinformation that in Dragon Ball Super Broly, when Frieza was talking about increasing his height, his henchman was saying that he could simply just go into his second form if he really wanted to increase his height and be like his father. And right before recording this video, I checked directly in both English and Japanese to see what was said, and King Cool was never mentioned in that specific scene. So that whole thing about confirming King Cool being able to transform into other forms because of what was said in Dragon Ball Super is completely out of the blue, and even if it did theoretically exist, it wouldn't even tie into the original Ball and Z continuity anyways, because Super would be going into another direction. But that's besides the point. What we're going to talk about specifically too is starting off with something that has been confirmed about Frieza, and a good reason as to why a lot of Dragon Ball fans legitimately believe that King Cool can transform. And this is because it's been confirmed officially that Frieza is actually produced asexually, and he is directly a descendant of King Cool, obviously. Now, the thing that we have to point out about this is that if you look at certain manga or anime adaptations, you can see a misquote where it was stated that Frieza has never been damaged by anybody other than his parents, and by hearing the word parents, you imply that Frieza has two parents instead of just one. So as a result of that, you would think that Frieza had a mother and a father, but as a result of it, we've also gotten true confirmation that Frieza was produced directly from King Cool himself, and this would obviously include Cooler. Even though he's not canon, it would theoretically include him as well. And even though this other character is not canon, the character of Chilled from the episode of Bardock Special, it would also confirm why Frieza's genetics have such powerful similarities in terms of how they look if they are produced asexually, but that's another conversation for another day. So the point is that if Frieza is produced asexually by King Cool, then you would think, well, King Cool is the basis for Frieza, so obviously if Frieza can transform into these forms, then King Cool should be able to as well. But we also have to point out that it's very likely that Frieza found forms that King Cool simply could never actually transform into, so even if King Cool could theoretically transform into more forms, he just never was able to actually find it. And we also have to point out too that maybe the mutation's different and King Cool's final and true form is really the form that we actually see, whereas for Frieza it's one of his other forms. And something we also have to understand here too, guys, is from chronological order, Frieza technically existed in his second form before King Cool even existed as a character, so we have to understand from a design aesthetic, it would actually make more sense for King Cool to have been based off of Frieza than the other way around, even though Frieza is King Cool's offspring, because Frieza's designs came first. So if there was any inspiration, it would obviously be from Frieza and not the other way around. Now, something else we must point out is how King Cool reacted to Trunks when Trunks killed Frieza. Based off of how he reacted, it's heavily implied that King Cool was terrified and didn't feel confident about the situation because he tried to attack Trunks when he was off guard, felt no confidence in fighting him straight up, and was completely shocked by his ability to kill Frieza. Now, based off of how he did that, you would clearly think that King Cool felt, because of the fact that he manipulated Trunks into getting his sword and trying to attack him, that he didn't feel like he could attack Trunks in conventional means, because he makes the statement, "You would have never have defeated my son without this sword." Now that statement clearly means that King Cool felt that this sword gave him some type of ability to kill Frieza, and as a result of it, he tricked Trunks into giving him that sword because he would want to use that sword to try and kill Trunks. Now, thinking about that logically, if he felt that sword would give him some type of superpower to kill Frieza and give himself power to kill Trunks, then that means King Cool felt that his own power wasn't enough, hence he tried to manipulate Trunks in the first place. So the fact that King Cool was manipulating Trunks for the sword clearly indicates that he didn't feel confident about his power, and also based off of how he was cowering when Trunks put a hand on his chest and was pushing him back. If King Cool really felt like he could do something else in that situation, he had ample time to at least try and transform. And you know how Dragon Ball works, where once a character starts transforming, the other character is just going to sit there and watch because they want to fight you at your full power, and that's essentially how the series formula actually works. So as a result of that, that evidence clearly shows that King Cole in that situation most likely didn't have another transformation. Now we have to also factor in something else here too, guys, and this is also dealing with future Goku, and future Goku is just basically a double confirmation that King Cole most likely didn't have another form, and this is based off of the fact that when you look at the fact that King Cole was killed along with Frieza in the future timeline by future Goku, that gives us another situation without a sword where King Cole would have had an ample time to power up and fight against Goku if he truly felt he wasn't confident in fighting him himself. And because of the fact that both he and Frieza fighting together were not successful and Goku didn't have a sword, Goku would have had to have killed Frieza in a very conventional Dragon Ball manner by either powering up some type of powerful blast or something like that. And because of this and the way that Goku would have had to have killed Frieza and King Cole, and considering the fact that there was two of them versus just him, because nobody else could really jump in and help, and the way that Trunks killed Frieza, he completely caught Frieza off guard because he separated them. This all directly shows that in Goku's situation, if Goku was able to kill King Cole, then that would also indicate that King Cole, if he had a chance to kill Goku in a fully powered up state, wasn't capable of doing so. But this leaves an even bigger question as to how powerful King Cole actually is. And if you look at your screen right here, you can see a quick manga snippet where Krillin is talking to Gohan and he says that there's a huge power that is very, very similar to Frieza's. Now, understand that we're talking about Mecha Frieza, so as a result of this clearly indicates that Frieza and King Cole are around the same. So when King Cole was cowering from Trunks earlier, that also would further confirm that he felt he stood no chance against Trunks because of the fact that Frieza's power was very, very similar to that of King Cole. So if you can kill Frieza, then that means King Cole would obviously not fare much better. And when we look at another thing here too, guys, we also have to point out that it's also implied that Frieza's stronger even though it's not fully directly said, even though it's kind of boastfully said, when Frieza always refers to himself as the most powerful being in the universe. And when you also look at the hierarchy of Frieza's empire, it does appear that King Cole kind of takes a background step towards Frieza, where Frieza is the dominant character and King Cole is kind of just like a side character in the background. Because of all of these things and the way that King Cole defers to him, and even if you want to include Dragon Ball Super's continuity, all of this would further suggest that based off of how King Cole reveres his son, that too also suggests that Frieza is even more powerful than King Cole. So, if King Cole was theoretically more powerful, Frieza should obviously know how strong his dad theoretically is, and if King Cole was truly stronger, then it would really just be a secret. Now, years ago, I did a video talking about the King Cole evolution theory, where I basically looked at how Frieza's forms increased his power, going from his restricted state all the way to its final form and giving an estimate for how his power level increased, and we basically said that based off of how strong King Cole was in his theoretical second form when he came to planet Earth, if he had extra forms, how strong he would be. And Dragon Ball Multiverse has also shown this too, where we can actually see that King Cole does actually have the ability to transform. And all of this suggests that if King Cole truly could transform and he was really just in his second form, our characters would have stood no chance because you would have to consider how strong he is just in his second form, so you'd have to imagine if he was in his third or fourth or found an even greater form within himself, that would obviously mean that our characters would have stood no chance. And when you consider the fact that Frieza's capable of finding more forms like Golden Frieza and stuff, and King Cole could theoretically find more, that would have meant that if he could do what Frieza could do, then clearly our characters would have been completely doomed. And Frieza is just simply a far greater prodigy than his father actually is. But, obviously, based off of how the writing was designed, the writers who wrote King Cole at the time did not intend for him to have a transformation. And they also didn't intend for him to be stronger than Frieza. So, as a result of this, it's a fun theory, but factually there really is no evidence to support this. And last but not least, the greatest piece of evidence that suggests that King Cole didn't have a greater form that we didn't know about is based off of his personality and his decision to try and destroy planet Earth from outer space and when he got to the planet directly. Remember, King Cole wanted to just blow up the entire planet, but it was really Frieza that wanted to exact his revenge in his slow way. Frieza likes to play with his food because when you go back to Planet Namek and you see all of the fights that he had against Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Krillin, the entire time Frieza could have easily have powered up and wiped them out extremely easily, and the same thing even goes for Goku. If he had gone out 100% against Goku from the very beginning before Goku even went into his Super Saiyan form, Frieza would have won the battle, but because he dragged the battle out because Frieza wants to exact his revenge the way that he wants to do it and play on his own terms, that obviously led to his own doom. And this is a similar situation to King Cole. If King Cole knew that he had a form that he could go into that could quickly get the job done, he would have done it based off of the fact that he clearly wanted to destroy the Earth and he doesn't like this whole dragging things out the way that his son does. So as a result of this, all of this would suggest that King Cole truly, in fact, does not have a secret form that we don't know about in the Dragon Ball universe. Now, as a post-edit, it's imperative that we mention Cooler, and even though he's not canon, what we see of him in Cooler's Revenge falls directly in line with what we talked about in this video. In that movie, Cooler was able to obtain a transformation that neither Frieza nor King Cole were ever able to use in the Dragon Ball universe. And even if we look at a character like Frost in Universe 6, who was unaware of Frieza's transformations, and when we saw Frieza going into his gold form, all of this suggests that King Cole's lineage, or similar species to King Cole, can simply find transformations on their own, and they don't have to have all of the same transformations in common. With that said, it could easily be understood that King Cole's form that we see in Dragon Ball Z can simply just be his version of his own final form. But there's an alternate way that you can also look at this, and you can look at it from the perspective that King Cole is just simply a significantly inferior version of his sons, and the second transformation is the farthest that he could ever go. And when compared to Frieza and Cooler and what we see in the movies and later on in Resurrection F and Dragon Ball Super, they've just simply surpassed the capabilities of what King Cole could do with a significantly longer life.